Hello dear students. So once again I'm here and today I'm going to start a new topic for chapter 5 which is about constructor overloading. So before starting this topic, I'd like to recall few things whatever we have done in our previous class. So my dear students, in our previous class we have learned about types of constructors, inside which we have learned about two different types of constructors which are default constructor and parameterized constructor. So I have explained this default and parameterized constructor along with its syntax and example. So what is actually a default constructor is? It is a constructor that takes no parameters. And parameterized constructor is a constructor that takes one or more parameters. So while writing a constructor type programming, if we see a constructor with some parameters, so those kind of constructor are considered as parameterized constructor. And if we see a constructor with no parameters, then that kind of constructor is called as default constructor. So these were the two different types of constructor that we have learned in our previous class. So my dear students, in today's class we'll be learning about what is actually a constructor overloading. So my dear students, while writing a constructor type programming, it is not that we can write only one constructor or we can include one constructor in a class or in a program. So we can include more than one constructor inside a single class or inside a single programming. So that kind of including more than one constructor within a single class is called as constructor overloading. So what is the actual definition of constructor overloading? So when there is more than one constructor within a single class with the same name is called constructor overloading. So now when a class consists of more than one constructor with the same name, those kind of constructor is considered as constructor overloading. So constructor overloading means having more than one constructor. It can be default or parameterized constructor inside a single program or inside a single class. That kind of constructor or constructor type programming is called as constructor overloading. Now I'd like to explain this constructor overloading with a short programming. Now if you see this small program segment for constructor overloading, now a class name is given. So what is given as class name is student. So here a program is starting with a class and its name. So name of a class is given as student. Now if you see just below the opening curly braces for the class, what is given is two instance variables are given, that is int x and y. Now just below that int x and y, what we can see is student written, and inside the bracket nothing is given. So now this, if you see student and if you relate with the class name which is also student, so we can easily tell or we can easily know that this is what, this is a constructor, because constructor will be having same name as that of a class. So now the first kind of constructor that we are seeing here in this small program segment is a default constructor. How can we say this is a default constructor? Is there are no parameter inside the bracket that is given along with the constructor name. So student and bracket open close is given with no constructor or constructor parameters inside this bracket. So this is default constructor. Now just below that what is given is, now the default value of a variable x is given, that is x equals to 0. So x if you see the instance variable, the return type used for x and y is int. So the default value given for the x is 0. Similarly, just below that, what is given is student int a is given. Now if one or more parameter is given inside a bracket, that particular kind of constructor is considered as or called as parameterized constructor. So it will be having same name as that of a class. So parameterized constructor also is having same name as that of a class name. That is, class name is student, and parameterized constructor also is having same name as that of a class, that is student. So student int a, that means if there are some parameters inside the bracket, that particular type of constructor is considered as parameterized constructor. So int a. Now y equals to a, that means y is denoted as a here in this second portion of the constructor type programming. So now if you see here, how many constructor has been inserted in a single class or inside single class is 2 constructor has been installed, or 2 constructor has been written inside a single class. That is, one is default constructor, default kind of constructor, another is parameterized kind of constructor. That means we can include more than one constructor in a single class or within a class. So that kind of constructor is called as constructor overloading. It is a process of including more than one constructor within a single class or within a single program is called as constructor overloading. So my dear students, this is how we have to deal with a constructor type programming. That means we can include more than one constructor within a class. So it can be default type constructor also, it can be parameterized constructor also. Now it is not that we can include two type of constructor. So two parameterized constructor and one default constructor also can be included within a class, within a single class. So 1 2 3 4, we can include more number of constructor in a single class. So my dear students, so in today's class we have learned about the small portion which tells about constructor overloading, and this is very much important in the programming that we are going to deal in our upcoming classes. So kindly learn the definition of constructor overloading and kindly learn this small program segment of constructor overloading, which is very much important, and these are the things that we have to remember while writing constructor type programming in our upcoming classes while we will be doing the programming for the constructor. So my dear students, kindly go through this portion, kindly revise this portion whatever I have taught in today's class, and get ready for the upcoming test and for the exams. So till then, stay safe, stay at home, kindly dedicate your time in studies and prepare for your upcoming exams. So thank you.